Welcome back to another episode of my trading vlog, where most of the views come from returning subscribers. If that's you, please hit the like button. If not, consider subscribing. We're gonna start in AMC and GameStop. As always, this is just the way it goes. People want to see these first, so here you go. Up front, it looks like AMC is starting to find a bottom. On the left-hand side, you're gonna see the daily chart. We have a small green candle. A bullish hammer is forming. It hasn't completed itself, and even then, we're gonna need a daily close above the range of this candlestick to confirm a pattern, which would be a short-term reversal. You may as well just hop into the intraday chart and find out what the pattern is there. Volume right now is above the 30-period average, way above the 30-period average, and we've only been trading for a couple hours, and so that's pretty impressive. This is looking really, really good right now. Implied volatility here is dropping precipitously, and this is good. This is good. If you're bullish, you want to see implied volatility go down because it's been rising on the downtrend. The MACD here is going to be swinging wildly a lot. Tons of volume coming in here, just tons of volume. The RSI reaching into overbought here strongly. We're going to zoom in on this. It looks like we had some sort of triangle or pennant form through here. Pretty interesting to see that there. This is definitely a reactionary trend. It's going to be tempting to use the bottom here as part of that pattern, but that wouldn't be technically correct, I believe. And the reason for that is this is actually the end of a motive trend, probably. You want to use the first motive wave of the reaction here to start that pattern. So this would be A, and then you'd have 1, 2, and 3. This is A, B, and C. We didn't get that fifth touch point for a pennant, right? But it doesn't matter. This is expressing a corrective trend. So we've had to push up, over, and now we're heading higher again. Reaching overbought several times here is bullish, probably signaling that we have found a bottom at last. High volume coming in. Yeah, this is the bounce, I think. This is the bounce. It's bounce time. I'm gonna write it down. Bounce time, baby. Bounce time, baby. Hopefully. Hopefully, I don't want to create any hype. I've been really careful not to create any hype and very realistic about AMC, and the price targets have been on point. At this point, it's just like price is free falling. At some point, it's gonna stop. I hope, for everyone's sake, that was it. Let's go to GameStop next. GameStop here pushing higher. This is the best thing. I love it when I draw lines on the chart. I don't like it when I leave lines on the chart, but yesterday I did, and I was saying, you know, this is a nice little push above this downtrend. I would expect a back test, come down to this downtrend, and then push higher to test this larger downtrend. And if we get above 1830, then we'll talk bullish. Like, that's almost exactly what I said. We've done just that. You can see the price came down right to that downtrend, came back up, and now we're pushing up against that level. Forecasted that with an astounding amount of accuracy, which is really good, It probably means we've finally found a bottom in GameStop as well, which is a huge relief. You can see that there is a bearish divergence forming here between the RSI and the price. That is to say that the peak and the RSI between peaks in the price are diverging. That is, in other words, the price is higher, but the RSI is lower, okay? What this typically signals is the top of a motive trend. This is probably wave A of a corrective, or it's wave 4. We'll see. Hitting overbought twice like this typically tells me that we're at the end of a corrective trend. Of course, this has been an absolute dump fest. It's like, ugh. It's possible too that this is actually an A, B, and C wave. I'll have to reanalyze this whole thing because it's actually a more complex measured move down. Or a zigzag instead of these motive wave counts. And maybe that would explain some of my confusion over the past while. It's just hard to figure out where these motive trends really end and start because it was just so extensive. I don't want to count it again, but I'm gonna have to. Let's move on. Playboy, I'm also following Playboy. Looks like we're coming to the bottom of wave 5 finally reaching some sort of level of support at 128. This is the oh no level. If you get below here, then like head for the hills. But you can see price here is relatively flat against the RSI, which is much higher. This could be a bullish divergence. We call this waves 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We are getting that falling wedge shape. This would be more characteristic of an ending diagonal triangle. We could even do this. Cut out that price extreme if we really wanted to. Just to make it look better. But I think this is okay. This is what I was looking for, and I was saying this would express the end of this downtrend. We really could be there. Wait for this breakout. I think this breakout is going to be very important. We could run into the resistance at the 50-period average, waffle a little bit, and then push up higher and test this downtrend at 150. So if you want to go long here because you're bullish, you could be looking at a nice 20% run against the stock that's only $1.30. That's a pretty good jump, right? And we know Playboy can make those sorts of moves. The MACD here is starting to look a little bullish. It's coming up a little bit, getting the green histogram growing. The blue, that's the short-term average, is coming up off of the longer period average. Volume, of course, is super light, so be careful. Watch that. It'd be nice to have some good volume. You don't need a lot of volume for breakouts, but I know that might be counterintuitive, but this is just what Bulkowski's pattern analysis suggests. So thepatternsight.com, that's his website. Go check it out. I've tried to say that every single video. I forget a lot, but that's where I started, was doing Bulkowski chart pattern analysis. So it looks like we've completed wave 5 here. This is good, looking good. Waiting for that breakout still. Okay, that's Playboy and AMC and GameStop. Let's go to SPY next. Yeah, SPY is pushing higher. Earlier in Discord, early this morning, I was like, SPY wants 446. It wants it, and there it is. And yeah, I've had to flip bullish here, of course, but that's just the smart thing to do. When price starts to turn around, you should turn around yourself. Yesterday, I was saying that we've reached the end of the C wave down here, and that's more over here. And I actually didn't want to delete every single one of those things I deleted yesterday. That 5-wave complete C of C, and then we start A, B, and C, and we started a second A, B, and C wave. So back-to-back threes here. We actually have 3 sets of 3 if you include the reactionary trend 2 wave C at the minute degree, or at the minor degree here. And now we're starting a new bullish wave count, so I've gone ahead and just labeled that for minuet 1 in blue, retracement for 2, and then we've had another sharp little correction here, which I'm going to call an extension of wave 3. Wave 3 targeting 449.25. At its extension, it's possible that this wave 2 actually went out here like this, and so this is actually end of wave 2 and it's flat through there. And we're looking at some new at wave 3, and yeah, I'm just going to push these up here because this is where they're going to go. They're going to go a little higher. We're waiting for wave 3 to peak out. We're waiting for retracement of 4. You never know what this could look like. SPY's looking very bullish right now. The RSI pushing deeply into overbought. What we're going to need to see, though, is wave 4 at the minuet degree. This will probably bring the RSI out of overbought, down below 70, in other words. And we're going to wait to see if we get back up into overbought, because remember, motive trends typically tend to bring the RSI up above 50. And yeah, the price leads the RSI, not the other way around, okay? When you're reading the RSI, you're really careful. Really remember that the RSI is an expression of the 14-period average. It's not magic, it's just math. Unless you think math is magic, which, you know, it kind of is. At any rate, we're looking for a big extension push higher, I think, and it's going to take us, it could, and I was saying yesterday, it could take us to an all-time high. Or that it could be a 5th wave that truncates. But right now, we're flipping back to bullish on SPY. And so I'm not short at all. This was a great downtrend. I forecasted it. I got the timing a little wrong here and there, but overall, we reached the targets, and I traded it. It was a good time until I made some stupid mistakes. I hit the wrong box. Anyway, okay, that's SPY. Let's move on from here. Let's go to Fubo next. I'm trading Fubo. Fubo, big push today. I thought about buying a call here, but I didn't, and I should have, duh, obviously. But that's okay. I'm still up on Fubo. I sold a put, the $2 put, for $14. It's currently only worth $2.50, which means I could buy it back for much, much less than I sold it, which is a successful short. We're looking at an 81.4% profit right now on that contract, which is, of course, $11. I'm trying to ignore that it's a small dollar amount. Focus on those percentages, and this is a great thing, especially when you consider that $11 against the $200 I put down to secure that position, to cover that position. Because if the price were to fall below $2, then someone would have the right to sell me shares, in which case I have to have the $200 to buy the shares at $2, because there's 100 shares a contract, right? And so I have a cash account. I have to have the cash first to be able to sell the contract in case I need to actually buy the shares to the person that I sold the contract to. I hope that makes sense. I'll continue to run through that every single time until it solidifies. I know it's very difficult. Options are confusing at first, but once you understand them, it makes a lot of sense, and you go, the stock market's fake. Because, I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it. Shh. Anyway, so Fubo here is doing amazing things. I love this. We're pushing higher. I'm thinking about closing this trade here, mostly because why would I want to wait to, I mean, that's $200 I could have on another trade, and to get the last $2.50 out of here, it's going to take until the contract expires, which is on Friday, I guess, right? No, it's not Friday. It's actually September 8th. Let's see here. That's next week. So I'm going to close this today, actually. When I'm done with the video, I'm going to close that position and consider what to do next. Now, I did do something really cool today, which I'm really happy about, and it's actually on Wulf. Yeah, Wulf's going straight up today. Let me just do this. Let's go into the default view, and let's turn on some candles. Let's do it. Boom. Woo! That was a big push higher. And yeah, of course, I was actually bullish here. Let's go into the Discord. I want to share what Edward posted. He's got his own channel for his own analysis. And yes, everyone's busy, and so it's hard to maintain these things. But I really appreciate everything Edward does share. Let's go ahead and take a peek over here. So here's Edward's analysis on Wulf. He says, I really like the potential in this one. There's a multitude of bullish divergences between velocities at the monthly and daily time frames. Price wants to make contact with the monthly trigger at 498. So this was a pretty bullish thing, all right? And then he shares his chart here from, I think it's called Anemone. Is that correct? Can't quite ever get that name right. Nonetheless, we were happy here. We're thinking bullish. And then, of course, today we got this big push up. This is nuts. So this short put that I entered, here we go. At 656, I shorted the put. I sold a $2 put. It was in the money, and I was expecting price to come up, obviously, right? There's just a lot of reasons why that would be, especially the MACD on the daily time frame and the complete wave count, motive wave count heading down to that critical level of support and resistance at like 184 or something like that. Anyway, and so price starts to go higher, and we just start these wave extensions, right? So at the minute degree in white, we have 1, 2, and then we start to extend the third wave, the most commonly extended wave. Just start counting the extended third wave, says Frost and Pretcher. So at the sub-minuet in blue, we have 1, 2, and then we start 1 and 2 again at sub-minuet, from minuet to sub-minuet, and then so we go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. If you count 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, you're in for a good time. If you see 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, you get 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, and right now we're in a big wave 4. We're in a big wave 4. I was hoping to get a half staff formation through here. We didn't get that. Nope, we're in wave 4, which is totally fine. Wave 4 grinding sideways right now. It could easily break down. Looks something like this. A, B, C, D. Wave E here is going to be pushing higher, hopefully. The MACD is starting to get a little confusing, but that's because we had this extreme push higher. And I mean, it was extreme. We were up 21% on the day. Volume here is starting to peter out. Makes sense. We are in correction after all. This was the downtrend in the RSI to be following. We broke that. And so we're kind of officially now out of this uptrend, now grinding sideways, digesting what the price has done. I'm going to open up the active trader here. What the active trader does is it helps show where the volume is coming in on the price action. So I'm just going to move myself over a little bit, and we'll take a look at this. You can see, let's see, I need to actually move this a little more to get the price in there. At 225, there's a massive volume spike, and that's actually where my cost basis is. And you're going to see that I have it noted on the charts too. My cost basis is 225, but minus 13 cents. Anyway, you can see that there's a lot of volume here at 225, and this is because there's a level of support and resistance here at the top of that 3 wave, and this is where the kind of line in the sand is. My cost basis is 225 minus 13, and that's because that's how much I made on that short put. Of course, if I was long the shares, I'd be holding just green, which would have been nice, but I wasn't thinking about holding calls at that, or shares at that point. But here we are. So we're at resistance right now. We'll see what happens. I may hold, I may just stop out. It doesn't really matter to me. These are just shares. So if I sell them now, I'll have the cash for tomorrow. I could buy back in if I really want to. But I kind of like having the shares. I really do. Especially since my cost basis is at this really high volume point. I mean, this was a really strong rally, and we didn't get a lot of volume until right about there. So we'll see what happens. Wave 4 can do any number of things. I'm just going to keep an eye on it. If I had to stop out, I'm probably going to be using that 13-cent point. So we're at 225 now. Take away 13. What do you get? Like 12. So 212. I'm probably going to stop out down here. This is where I'll put my stop. I don't think we're going to get that low. It's possible that we get a 100% move like this, which puts us at 218 for our wave 4 correction, and then we'll start wave 5. And if we get an explosive wave 5, that'd be fantastic too. When I zoom out onto the daily time frame, you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's just go ahead and do that. I'll put myself back over here into this upper right hand corner, and let's go back into the default chart, and let's look at what might happen on the daily time frame. So basically, we had a massive push higher, which was a great flag pull, nice flag. This was a high and tight flag, and price pushed higher, surpassed the target at 263 and reached the extension at 344. What this makes me think And hold on while I do this. I'm going to go into the hourly time frame here. I'm saying that this is primary wave 5 or C. This could be wave C down here to complete wave 4 at the next higher degree, which from primary takes us into cycle. No, this is primary. We've already got cycle down, so this would be wave A of 4. No, this might be wave 4 at the degree. This would have to be cycle. This could be cycle wave 4 down here. In fact, I'm going to relabel this a little bit. This could be cycle wave 4. We're looking for cycle wave 5. You can see I'm just kind of starting to move stuff around with the potential wave counts. I'm still working on this, so bear with me here while I have a little bit of confusion. And you're going to say, Cap, there are closes that are lower here than here, so then your first, this has to be impulse 1. Right? Maybe that didn't make sense to you, but basically wave 2 can't totally retrace wave 1, and so this can't be 1, 2, the beginning of our 5-wave motive wave count. The motive wave count has to start down here at this low. This has to be the start of wave 1, and we get a nice big volume spike here, kind of clue us into that, and then you see the RSI reaching overbought like this multiple times. Yeah, this is the top of the initial impulse, and then this becomes wave 2. Beautiful. And then we got that 161 point extension, typical, to find ourselves there at the end of wave 3. Now we've come down for wave 4. The rule for wave 4 is that it can't overlap into the price of wave 1, and we haven't. We found support at 184. You may have heard me mention that earlier. And now we're looking at the MACD through here, which is starting to look almost bullish. The short period average, the blue average, is coming really close to that long period average. The histogram here is starting to look almost bullish. And I say almost bullish because we're not quite there, which is why I didn't want to like buy shares this morning or buy a call. That's why I wanted to sell the put. The RSI nearly reached overbought or oversold. It doesn't have to reach oversold. Remember, there's no magic here when it reaches 30, but getting close to thereabout is good. We can even look back and say, you know, how often has it gotten down there? It's like, yeah, when the price action starts, it's a little more volatile, but then once price starts to stabilize, we get a more accurate reading. So through here, I think really we're looking at waves 1 and 3. This is wave 4. We're waiting for wave 5, and wave 5 could extend, and it could extend a lot. I think overall, this is looking really bullish. We could be coming back up to this 388. You know, I think Edward was saying around that $5 mark, right? What was he saying exactly? I'm going to go have a look again here. 498, yeah. And I mean, yeah, that makes sense to me. That would be somewhere up here. Yeah, why not? This could be the beginning of a big breakout. This could be a true falling wedge through here. And I say true falling wedge because it's easy to analyze a pattern and then it doesn't make any sense. So this on this time frame doesn't look that great, right? I'm on the hourly drawing set. So let's go back to the hourly and I'll run you through this count through here. This is what cued me into this big pop we had today. Was this downtrend? Price was coming up to it. And I had to decide, were we in a motive wave or at the end of a corrective phase, right? So you're going to see I have 3 or C, 4 or B, and 5 or C. This breakout is confirming that this was actually A, B, and C. And this is a measured move down, which completes that wave 4. So we had 1, 2, and then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? And what this does is this actually makes this one wave, this change to the count, right? These actually become corrective counts. A, B, and C, and this of course would have been the correct way to label this initially, right? And then wave C here is of course composed of 5 waves, which is a motive count. There we go, wave C is motive. Need A, B, and C for B, all right? There you go. There it is, looking good. And then these wave degrees are actually wrong. They need to be smaller, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of them for now, which is fine. And then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for C. And now we're starting the new motive wave count for wave 5. And so I'm going to duplicate A over here, and we're just going to label it 1. And it really is, at this point, still 1 or A. But it's probably 1. Yes, that looks good. So when we broke that down, like I actually entered into these the short put before we broke that downtrend, but that's okay. All is well when price moves in your favor. Reaching into overbought here for the first time. This could be a kickoff wave where we're getting the signal that, yeah, price is going to move higher. And this could be a high and tight flag. And if it's a high and tight flag, that's where it gets really fun. Let's just go ahead and do it. Let's say this is our flagpole right here. And we're going to find support at that 225 level. All right. That puts us at 266 to start, right? That's near that 271 target from way back when. And I'm going to turn on the extension here, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. 292. We easily could be on our way up and up and up here, which is fantastic. Something to notice is that this stock is hard to borrow, so there is a lot of short interest here. That could have been a little short covering going on, and that's what drove the price up. You know, the bid spread ask here is pretty high at $5 between puts and calls. It's $5 on both sides, and this makes it a little hard to trade. That's why I got out of the put so quickly, as I figured that if I was able to take a 50% gain on that put, it was probably a good spot to bail out. I mean, just making that much money on that contract that quick was worthwhile, I thought. So I might go over here, and I might consider selling a call just to hedge, but I don't want to do that either. There's a $20 spread here for the October calls. No thank you. September 15th is still a ways out. The $5 spread's still too high for me. I don't like it. At any rate, that's what I have for today's video. It's super long. We have to edit it here, but yeah, I'm really happy with what's going on with Wulf right now. That's all. Happy trading.